You're listening to an archived Cabral Concept podcast. After listening to this show, check out the most up-to-date podcasts available at stephencabral.com/podcasts or search directly on iTunes. And now, welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified naturopath and integrative health practitioner Dr. Stephen Cabral shares how he was diagnosed at the age of 17 with a life-altering illness and given no hope for recovery. It was only after studying and traveling all over the world did he discover how to combine ancient Ayurvedic healing practices with state-of-the-art naturopathic and functional medicine to fully rebalance the body and re-energize it with life. It's time to discover how to get well, lose weight, and finally feel alive again. And now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Cabral.
I'm Stephen Cabral, and we've got a great Training Thursday show for you today. It's 50% nutrition, 50% exercise, and how can we combine those to really, give you the absolute best results for your body, but also your health, because we're going to be talking about one of the most popular topics right now, kind of in the media, online, fitness gurus, you name it, and that's intermittent fasting. So what is intermittent fasting? Quick recap. It is going for a prolonged period of time without eating. Basically, that's the bottom line, right? So there's liquid fasting, there's water fasting, and then there's like smoothie fasting. There's all those different types of fast. What we're going to talk about is not eating any food, but you can consume water. So that's what we're talking about today. So what a lot of people are doing, and I'm not recommending this for you, is they will stop eating at dinner and then they won't eat again until lunch the next day. But that's 16 hours without eating for the most part, right? 7 o'clock at night to 7 in the morning. That's what I recommend, or 8 to 8, 7 to 7, 12-hour overnight fast. You drink your greens drink or your lemon water, whatever you want to do in the morning. You wait an hour and then you do your smoothie. So that's what I recommend. But a lot of people are going an extra 4 or 5 hours on top of that 12, and they're taking it to 16, 17 hours and only eating a small window. The problem with that is if you are working out first thing in the morning, and you're, let's just say that you're not a Zen yogi who's meditating all morning and doing yoga. Like, you actually have a lot going on. You have a family, and you have stress, and you have a commute, and you have all these different things. Your body is already going to be in a little bit more of a heightened state from the stress of normal life, which typically means that your body is going to be already at a little higher level of norepinephrine, which is basically adrenaline, of cortisol, potentially a hormone called aldosterone. So your nervous system's already a little primed. What can happen is if we also work out at that same exact time, early in the morning, not fasted. So let me take one step back. I actually recommend working out on an empty stomach for a lot of people who are looking to lose weight. I say, do your greens drink before, do your water, do your lemon, because you want to hydrate. So that's great. That's basically no calories, all right? So we're not talking about that. Nothing that's going to spike your blood sugar. And I do like working on the empty stomach because we really will, there's back and forth research, but we really will tap into more body fat if our blood sugar is lower. That's basic physiology. If your blood sugar is higher, you're not going to be able to tap into as much body fat. Again, basic physiology. Will your metabolism be elevated later in the day regardless? Yes, but we're not talking about that. We're talking about tapping directly into body fat. So I do recommend that. However, what I don't always recommend, this is not what I recommend, that you don't eat for 4 hours after that workout, right? That's a little different. And especially if this isn't a one-day thing, this is an ongoing thing. Because what can happen is this. When you're spiking those levels of cortisol, when you're spiking those levels of adrenaline, while fasted, and then you're working out, you're increasing cortisol levels, which can start to burn out the central nervous system. When it starts to wear down on your central nervous system, your adrenal glands don't function as well. Your DHEA and your testosterone levels start to dip. In women, predominantly, the progesterone levels start to go down, which means they start to become more estrogen dominant. What estrogen dominant means more bloating, more irritability, more moodiness, more acne, more digestive issues, all the things that we don't want for both men and women, right? So we don't want any of those things. Also, thyroid starts to go down. Why would thyroid go down? Well, it's because thyroid can be blocked in 2 places by overstressed body, right? That's why I can't recommend these hardcore boot camps, these hardcore classes, is because in the short term, fine. In the long term, they wear down your body. They add more stress to a bucket that is already full of stress. You need to take some of that stress out before you can start doing these hardcore training things. So if we know the HPA axis, the adrenal glands, basically hypothalamus pituitary adrenal axis, can start to block thyroid as a protective mechanism while in fight or flight, we know then that could also slow the metabolism. So what am I trying to say? Because I'm going to keep this show short and sweet. So I'm saying is that If you are someone that's been struggling to lose weight or keep the weight off, and I'm going to give different scenarios for each person, doing a workout in the morning while fasted or just doing a little bit of greens drink or lemon water or ginger tea, any of those things, totally fine. You should hydrate and work out like that. Great. And then a half hour to an hour after your workout, you will do a smoothie or you'll do whatever your breakfast is, right? That's the way to do it. That will get you great results because again, for people who aren't looking at the deeper science beyond what we're talking about with no carbs in their diet, right? You have to understand that carbohydrates cut cortisol. They also increase positive levels of neurotransmitters like serotonin, positive levels of GABA, things that degrade cortisol, things that degrade norepinephrine. It so often gets overlooked because we always look at things in the immediate short term, like what does it do like for me this week, right? So we're not looking at the long-term results, right? So now the other group that I want to talk about is that there's a lot of ectomorphs, like thinner body types who are working out, who are training hard, but they're also saying, oh, I need to, I'm not going to call out any companies, but that one, sorry, in my head, I have my own little things that make me laugh. I don't want to call it out, but like when you're always trying to hack your body, what you fail to realize is that we're all individuals, something called bioindividuality. So sometimes the lean, the ectomorph, the Vata body type, what happens is their nervous systems are always primed. Their metabolism's always up. They can absolutely not go for 16 hours without eating because they're just going to burn up their own lean muscle tissue. They're already going to spike higher levels of adrenaline in their body. They're going to continue to blow up their cortisol levels and then eventually crash, and those cortisol levels will drop, and then there'll be low testosterone, low DHEA, low cortisol, and then they'll be like I was many, many years ago and be like, life's not even worth living because I have literally zero electricity in my body. I can't even get out of bed. I'm just totally zapped, right? So we don't want that. You have to understand like there are different body types. Ectomorphs, they need to have carbohydrates and they need them throughout the day. Not eating them is completely detrimental to not only their actual physical structure and making sure the body doesn't break down, it's to their overall sanity as well. If an ectomorph or Vata body type is not having like 4 good meals per day or with carbohydrates, they're literally out of fuel. They burn through. They just burn through fuel too quickly because the internal metabolism is like that hamster and the hamster wheel running 100 miles an hour. Where the endomorph, the hamster and the whale decided to get off and just kind of take a nap for a little while. They need a little bit more activity. The ectomorph does not. You have to understand body types. You have to understand kind of like who you are, where you fit. And if you're putting on a lot of weight, well, then that kind of shows you too that, it's like, yes, you do need to get the body moving. You do need to eat those good whole foods. You need to get, a lot of those toxins out of your body. All those things matter. But what I wanted to share with you today is that for the most part, what you want to do is a 12-hour overnight fast. Unless you're working with a direct health practitioner that knows you, knows your body, and is really educated on functional medicine and nutrition, and if they tell you then to do a longer fast, then do a longer fast. So keep in mind, I work with individuals where I have them do a 24-hour fast sometimes once a week because I'm looking to clear up the body and produce this thing called autophagy at a much faster rate. So I'll have them go from like Sunday night, that will be their dinner, and then just water or ginger tea during the day on Monday with some lemon, and then they'll eat dinner Monday night. So they actually don't go a day, but they do go 24 hours. That's for a specific individual. That might be someone who has like rheumatoid arthritis or psoriasis or something like that, and I'm trying to clean their blood. I'm trying to clean out the process of the necrotic tissue, all that dead material, all that stuff out of their body at a really fast pace. But that's an individual. For general population, stop eating after dinner, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, whatever it might be. Don't eat then for 12 hours later. That's basically, it's that simple. The health benefits alone, if you do nothing else, even if you still eat Pop-Tarts in the morning, you eat pizza at lunch, and I don't even know, like the worst, like fried food at dinner. If you still go 12 hours, you will be doing yourself an amazing service. You really will. One of the most important things you can do for your health. Now, can you work out in the morning while fasted? Yes, I did just mention that. If you are an endomorph, if you are someone looking to lose weight, then you can absolutely work out while fasted. Just do a greens, like we use the daily fruit and vegetable blend powder with some lemon, with some water, and that's going to hydrate you. That's going to give you a little energy. Do your workout, wait a half hour to an hour later, then have your smoothie or have your breakfast, right? For everyone else, like for an ectomorph who's already lean, no need to fast. You're not going to get benefit. It's actually going to harm you. That's the con. And then you will absolutely want to make sure you have some smoothie before your workout, or at least a piece of fruit. You could just do a banana or some fruit, because remember, you're not in danger of gaining weight. Your body type moves that metabolism very, very quickly. So keeping the show under 10 minutes today, kind of excited about that. Hopefully the information was worthwhile to you. And again, if someone's kind of experimenting with a nutrition plan, you don't think that is healthy for them, please feel free to share this information with them. Maybe it will resonate with them, maybe it won't, but it'll at least give them, if they're open-minded, another thing to think about. Take care.
Did you know that the body really only becomes sick or imbalanced in only 2 ways? Over time, you become deficient in vital nutrients, and you also accumulate toxins internally and from the environment. As those nutrients diminish and you increase your total toxic load, your body then begins to show the first signs of dis-ease. It's actually quite predictable, and the good news is that if we know how you began to fill up that proverbial rain barrel, we also know how to empty it to begin the healing process. I was fortunate enough to learn this ancient healing process from my mentor after suffering from debilitating diseases for close to a decade. It was only when I began to implement these techniques did I finally overcome my illnesses and go on to live a life of energy and vitality that I now enjoy. I'd like to share with you now what I discovered after traveling all over the world and how to combine the best of ancient healing wisdom with state-of-the-art science. Allow me to teach you exactly how I've been able to help over 250,000 people to empty their rain barrel and begin to transform their body and lives into what they've always hoped they could be. To get your copy of the international bestseller, The Rain Barrel Effect, simply go to StephenCabral.com/rainbarrel.